Hi guys, Desire here, and today we're going to be doing one of the first videos on my channel. Now I'm going to try and get as many videos out today as I can, whether it be top 10s or top 5s or whatever. I'm going to do a couple of different skin videos or skin inspect videos, stuff like that. But I'm also going to be doing a CSGO highlights later, so that'll definitely be up on the channel. So I'm going to aim to get, I'd say, a minimum of 3 videos up today, just so we can get some content on the channel. And basically we're going to be doing a top 5 STATTRACK knives under $100. Now what I've done with this is I've tried to stay away from gut knives, because I know gut knives are cheap knives and sometimes you can get decent looking ones for quite cheap. However, I feel that a lot of people prefer to get more exotic, I guess, knives, like knives that aren't gut knives. If you're going to buy a knife, a lot of people don't want to get a gut knife just because it is the most common knife, basically. So I tried to stay away from gut knives and I have managed that. And I've also got ones where they actually look clean, because obviously when you're going for under $100 and STATTRACK, it's going to limit you to the patterns you're going to be able to get without them just looking battle scarred to shit. So what I've done is I've gone for knives that are cheap, STATTRACK, are not gut knife, and they also have nice patterns without a lot of wear on them. So it's been a little bit difficult to find 5 knives that actually look good, because otherwise you're going to end up with a battle scarred like Scorch knife that's STATTRACK, which it's a knife, I guess, but it's not the type of knives people are really going to want. So I've gone with 5 knives that I think look nice, and I've got in-game inspect, so where I'm actually in a weapon skin server, but I've also got inventory inspect, because a lot of the knives, they don't look that good in inventory inspect, but when you actually go in-game, they look a lot better. So I've kind of decided to put both of them in just so it gives you a real look into what the actual knife looks like. Obviously when I'm actually in-game, all the knives are in factory new. However, for a lot of these knives that doesn't really matter, because the wear doesn't affect how it looks that much. So yeah guys, let's jump straight into the first knife. So these knives are in absolutely no particular order. These are just 5 knives that I thought looked nice. And the first knife is going to be a STATTRACK Butterfly Knife Forest DD Pat Field Tested. So I'm going to be getting all the prices for these knives off OP Skins. And the lowest price I could see one for was $87.12. So it's quite a lot under the $100 mark. Now, float for these knives doesn't matter too much. However, if you do want to get a float that's pretty much borderline minimal wear, you can actually get one for around $92. So if you want to put in an extra $5, then you can probably get a pretty much minimal wear float if you're really that bothered about it. But in all honesty, it doesn't look too much different. So you could just go with the cheapest one available and still have a really nice knife. So guys, the second knife we're going to be looking at is the STATTRACK Flip Knife Forest DD Pat Minimal Wear. Now there's quite a few Forest DD Pats on this. I think there is 3. Just because the skin looks really clean, and you can get it STATTRACK and cheap. I'm not really sure why it's so cheap. It's because it's, you know, not exactly a Doppler. But it does actually look like a really nice skin when you're in the game. So for this flip knife, the cheapest you can get it for is around $85. Now, float does not matter at all for this, so if you want to pay higher for a better float, then go for it, but that's literally just for collectors. Most people, when they're looking for high floats, they'll be looking at factory new knives anyway. So, in all honesty, just get the cheapest one available. Make sure you inspect it, of course, because you never know, it could just look like shit for some reason. But it's just double check in-game, and you could just go for the cheapest knife, and you'll still get one with a decent float. So, the third knife, guys, is going to be a STATTRACK Flip Knife Blue Steel Field Tested. Now, when I inspected this in inventory, it looked pretty shit. But I've had blue steel knives before, like I've had a Huntsman blue steel and a Bowie blue steel. And I know that they look like 10 times better in-game. So that's why I've got the in-game inspect. And the cheapest you could get this knife for is around $90, which is, again, $10 under. So a lot of these knives are coming under $100 at the moment. And I think this is quite nice because it'll allow you to get, I don't know, maybe pick up an M4 skin or something like that. So the most expensive knife is going to be our knife at the number 4 spot, which is a STATTRACK Bayonet Forest DD Pat Minimal Wear. So I could only find this knife at the cheapest at $99.94. So this is literally 6 cents under the $100, but it is probably one of the nicest knives on this list just because of the fact that it is a STATTRACK bayonet. And you can get good floats under $100 if you're lucky, but in all honesty, for under $100, a bayonet minimal wear STATTRACK, you're just going to have to kind of take what's available. So, although they are kind of rare to get under $100, when I was looking on OP Skins, there was actually 4 that are under $100. So it's not too difficult to pick one of these up for under $100. So definitely go, if you want to get one of these knives, get them quickly, because they do start to sell. They sell pretty much on a daily basis when they're under $100. So you're going to want to pick up yours quite quickly. But then guys, the very last knife we're going to be looking at is the STATTRACK Flip Knife Urban Mask Minimal Wear. So this is kind of one of them ones again where when you just inspect it in your inventory, it doesn't look like anything special, it's not that great. However, when you actually look at it in game, it looks a lot better. It looks like a really clean flip knife. And the lowest price you can get this for is $81.15. Now, if you wanted, you could technically drop down to a field tested, as long as you got quite a high float, which would save you some money and the knife wouldn't look that different. So if that's something you want to consider, then definitely go for that. But that, guys, is pretty much going to wrap up the video for now. I'll be bringing another top 10 or top 5. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to be doing today. And also, as I said, the CSGO highlights will be coming a little bit later on today. So make sure you check those for those videos later. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.